Hello everyone and welcome back to BlueTube, and today we're going to be previewing our FA Cup fixture away to Blackpool on Sunday at Bloomfield Road in the second round. How are you doing?
All right, yeah, looking forward to the game.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
No, looking good. The pressure's off a little bit now. Break from the league. And hopefully, but it's good because it's league competition, isn't it? League One competition.
You say it's good, I don't like that. I'd like to face someone that we otherwise wouldn't be playing up against.
I'm looking forward to getting up against Bruce's team because he got them really fiery when he first came in, but they've sort of gone off the boil a little bit, which I'm glad about as well. So,
well, yeah, we'll go into their form. Obviously, like you say, manager Steve Bruce. What do you think the reception's going to be like there? You're going to know more about the time Steve Bruce had with us than I would have. It's before my time, really.
yeah,
but of course, he's
times
been
were
at Villa
good.
as well. So it's,
yeah, exactly. That was a bit of a grey area for Blues, wasn't it? Because like anyone, it's like McLeish was the same, wasn't it? Yeah, their names become mud instantly with half the fans usually, and you can understand why. But no, it was good when Bruce came because he came as a player initially from Man U, and he sort of
good player as well.
he was a great player, one of the best players that was always touted as never playing for England. Really should have done. Never played in an England shirt.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
No. What was he, a centre half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, solid player. I mean, it looks like, you look at his nose, it looks like he's been, like wrestling with steamrollers.
Laughable.
It does, doesn't it? But no, he was a great, tough player. Really good, good on the challenge. But he scored a few goals as well. He used to go up on some of the dead ball situations, free kicks and crosses and corners and things, and score a few. So yeah, good player.
Yeah.
A lot of respect.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, speaks for itself, I suppose. Last time out in the FA Cup, just touching on the competition, Blackpool beat Gillingham away 2-0.
Gillingham.
Gillingham. Gillingham G-Ham.
Is that the same as going to the game?
People aren't going to get your weird little references.
Can't beat Simpsons.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. Anyway, onto their form just in general. And they've actually only won one game out of their last 6. And that was their last game against Bristol Rovers. So like you say, yeah, they have gone off of the boil a little bit. As for the Blues, we obviously won our last time out. We've won 3 from the last 6. Exeter, Sutton United and Fulham were those wins. Outside of that, it's just 2 draws against Northampton, painful one, and Mansfield. And then obviously that loss against Shrewsbury. So, yeah, I don't know how much we want to read into this, really, because obviously Blackpool have been on one side of the coin than the other. They've seemed to have dropped off at the moment, but they've also shown what they're capable of, as is the case with some of their players. They've got some real quality. I've made a bit of a list here, only a short one, but one of their in-form players, let's say, is Lee Evans. He's a central midfielder, 30 years of age. He's the highest rated player at the moment and has 2 goals and 5 assists. It's the most assists in the team. He's always got the most accurate passes and he's best passer of the ball in the team. And he's created the most chances. Their top scorer, the striker Kyle Joseph, who's 23 years of age, has 7 goals so far this season. And lastly, there's James Husband. Now, he's a centre-back, and the only reason why I've put him in there is because he's got 3 goals himself, and that he's second in the tally of goal scorers. So that just immediately indicates to me that these guys are going to be a threat from their set pieces, which is seemingly our Achilles heel at the moment. So we're going to have to look out for that. Going on to the injuries, they're doing all right at the moment, typically, Blackpool. Only Hayden Collinson, who's the left-back for them, is out injured at the minute. And everyone else seems to be doing okay. Whereas with us, obviously, we've got Emil Hansen, Scott Wright, who's a few weeks off, and from the conference today, Lee Buchanan is still going to be out for a while, which is really frustrating.
What's happened with him then?
I'm not too sure. Yeah,
today.
well, no.
He was in training last I heard.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I thought, oh, we might see him make a bit
and
of a cameo.
This is fresh today.
Yeah. Well, the conference is done for the Blackpool game, so yeah, it's a bit.
I hope he's just getting like his sharpness back, because last time we saw anything about Buchanan was that he's back in training, he's getting his strength up.
I was expecting to see him in a few games that have gone by, but
what I do know is that they're expected to mix up, like against the Fulham under-21s, to play something different. So I would expect to see like change of keeper, change of personnel in the back line, trying different methods. maybe seeing how these players adapt to that new method he played the other night against Exeter, maybe. But
yeah.
now, if we're saying there's more injuries, not good, is it? Unless he's just being cautious.
Well, we're going to have to rotate the squad anyway. We'll talk about lineups a little bit later, but it would have been good just to give Alex Cochrane a bit of a rest, I think. I mean, I
Yeah.
suppose you can... Who could you put at left wing back, Dad? We'll go into this a little bit later, because I still think that the formation should remain the same. Let's look at the head-to-head stats then between Birmingham and Blackpool. The last time we played them wasn't too long ago. I mean, although I can't really remember the fixture. See if it crops a memory for yourself. It was the 22nd of April 2023.
In the Championship.
I cannot remember anything about the game.
I honestly can't recall it. I remember when we have played Blackpool, and I can't even remember what the score was or anything, to be honest.
Well, we lost
It couldn't
1-0.
have been good, it's not memorable, is it? Go on, how many?
We lost 1-0 at home. I didn't go that far.
No.
I just saw that that was when we last played them. Outside of that, if you look at our head-to-heads across our history, we've won 35 of our meetings.
Wow.
Well, don't say wow just yet. Drawn 24 times and lost 42. Now, your whole balance thing, that would indicate that we should
balance
be...
probabilities, that's us smashing them on Sunday.
Yeah. So, what do you reckon then? Let's talk about Blues a little bit.
Well, when Brucey first went to Blackpool, and it just transformed them overnight, didn't they? They started playing football. Then there was that bit of a tragedy in Brucey's family, which was really sad.
Really upsetting.
And it's almost like that's really just put a dampener on the whole thing, and they haven't recovered as a team from that time. I'm not saying it was all down to that, but you wonder what impact such a tragedy has had from the top down, as in Bruce being from the top. And I don't know, I mean, it's a horrible thing to have to contemplate, but footballing terms, we've just got to go and do our business and hope that they don't pick back up, because I think Bruce will be firing his team up for this one big style.
100%.
He will want to get a result against Blues, because there's history there. And like Davies, I have heard a little bit on I heard on WM on the way home from work tonight in the car that there's a lot of respect mutually between them, but he's got one target, and that's to go and do Blackpool. That's all he wants to do.
Well, Blackpool are probably, I mean, this is direct from Davis's mouth anyway, and I agree with him when he said this. They're probably one of our biggest competitors in the division. So we've got to be careful. But what I'm also hoping that might mean is we actually get a proper game of football, and that's no disrespect to any of the other teams we've played so far this season. But I hate seeing when we're against a team there's clearly a divot, and that's not an arrogance thing. That's just fact of the matter. And because of that, our opposition just puts all their men behind the ball and try to catch us out on a counter-attack. I'm hoping with it being a little bit more balanced, still think we're clear on favourites, but a little bit more of a balance there, as I say. I'm hoping that'll make a little bit more...
a bit more entertaining.
Of an entertaining game.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm hoping that they'll actually come at us a little bit more rather than sitting back, which is what I expect them to do, to be honest. I can't see why they wouldn't, especially with what I've picked up from some of their key players.
There's only one target, isn't it? It's to progress to the next round. Chances of the big boys coming in there.
Yeah.
So that's what you've got. Well, yeah. And apparently WM think it's going to be Villa when Blues get through, because Blues going to get through.
Well, how can they have any sort of guess? What do you mean? I think it's...
It was just, if you were listening to WM, they were just saying it's going to be Villa. It was
the
driving.
just poking
That's
fun.
how late I was coming home tonight.
Oh, I see.
They were predicting the Villa.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be the dream. Now, do you know, if you'd have asked me at the start of the season, in the FA Cup, the Villa, I'd have been like, oh, no, they'll stuff us. But I'd love to give them a game, I would, especially at the minute.
I can't say I disagree with that. But we are dreaming now. We've got Blackpool to get past first. So let's just keep that in mind.
We keep doing this, don't we? We keep saying, next round, and the next game when we've won this one.
Well, the last time that we did it was against
We've
Shrewsbury.
come down to earth with a bump. We've had a bit of a shock, haven't we? No, I still think that on balance, we should be fairly convincingly getting the right result against Blackpool.
Yeah.
I think it should be a nice day out. We're taking a lot of fans down there. A lot of the fans are making a good weekend of it. And I'd like to think there might not be many goals in it, but I think we should do it. But we've come unstuck before when I've said things like that, haven't we?
Well, yeah, and another thing that might... Well, certainly won't aid us in our predictions because we're not used to seeing our team play like this. But I'm hoping that we continue in this vein, considering how we did at Exeter. Is the change in formation? What do you reckon? Reckon we should stick with it for a bit?
Yeah, I do. I like that.
Yeah.
It was a good balance. It was like a transitional phase for us.
It was a
wasn't
change.
It was just like, yeah, this
We
solid,
needed
more
it.
solid at the back, limited them to hardly any chances. One shot on goal, I think it was, wasn't it? That was at the end of the game. Brings in more of our defenders, of which can play football. But still, we're getting, like the width, we're getting the attack, we're getting that nice passing game. So yeah, I would like to see the other players, the rotational players, come in and see how they do with that.
So should we go through our starting lineup then? Because we're both in agreement of the formation, I think, from what you've just said there. I don't think we should change it at all. And I'd like to see, no disrespect to Exeter, but a better team and how we fare against them with this new formation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we give Peacock Farrell, going goal for the cup game. I think rest Allsop. I think Allsop's had a cracking period. I know there's been a few goals against, but you can't blame him for most of them.
He seems really confident now on the ball. I can see that he's grown in confidence.
Yep.
I don't know how people are going to react to this, and there might be a few people out there who disagree with me, but I would like to see Sanderson get a little bit of game time.
This will give us an indication as to what the plan is in January with Sanderson. Because I think routinely, if Sanderson was going to be a Blues player moving forward, he'd be in for the Blackpool game alongside maybe Ben Davis.
Yeah. I'd actually I'd take Bielik out and put Sanderson in. Big shock horror. But I don't think Sanderson's a bad player.
See, won't it? That will be interesting to see if Sanderson even makes the bench. Was he on the bench against Exeter? I guess he must have been because we're playing three at the back.
I couldn't tell you.
I didn't even.
I was inclined to say that he wasn't, but I'm not entirely too sure. You'll know, won't you, Blues fans? But anyway, pushing up the pitch. I'm going to go blue in the face with saying this because I feel like I say it every single week. I think that we should give Leonard a run out from the start of a game.
Good game when he came on the other night against Exeter.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I thought he played really, really well. Works his socks off, and I think he's got a lot to give. I don't think we've seen anywhere near the best from Leonard yet because he hasn't really had the chance.
But he doesn't put a foot wrong, does he, really, when he comes on?
No.
He's steady Eddie and almost Paik-esque. Do you know what I mean?
So?
It's almost like working alongside him, obviously in training, has sort of rubbed off him a little bit. That like that look about him.
The only reason why I'm saying this is I'm not saying that I would prefer Leonard over Paik. I mean, it's very clear that our strongest midfield pairing is Paik and Iwata. The only reason why I'm suggesting these changes, and the same with Sanderson as well, is because we've got the games are going to start coming at us relentlessly over the next month or so. We need to get used to the idea of having players swap and change and rotate. So with that being said, I think now's a good time to start doing that. Bring Leonard in, give Paik or Iwata a bit of a rest.
Absolutely, and we need to know who we can bring in. Games like this,
Who can we rely on? We need to know.
Exactly,
yeah, absolutely.
And I'd like to think Chris Davies knows that in Leonard he's got a solid midfielder now. Because let's face it, if we didn't have Paik, if Iwata hadn't come in, Leonard would have been a starting player, Northampton's player of the season last year.
Yeah.
And I think he's solid enough, still a young lad, so still learning the game. So in a squad like ours, some of these players and some of these like on loan players that are coming in, like that lad from Fulham, the stuff that they must be picking up at the moment from some of these absolute, what could be club legends moving towards the future, like Yuri Waters. The way he can slot the ball about and working alongside Paik, they look brilliant, don't they? I mean, if we can keep hold of them as long as possible moving up through the leagues, as I hope we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's legends in the making, isn't it? This whole team will go down in history, I think, for like the new birth, the rebirth of Birmingham City as a club.
Yeah, really well said. Moving on further up the pitch then, what more do we have to do to get Yokoyama?
I think he'll start this week.
Do you think so?
I really think.
I hope so.
I think he will. I think he will start if it's pleasant enough.
So now the big three: the centre attacking midfielder, the right midfielder, and our number 9. We still want to win the game, don't we? So I wouldn't do too much to this.
Well, going to your number 9, if you'd have seen, which I'm sure you have, the post-match interview that Chris Davis did was talking quite highly. Although May didn't score, he was on about May getting into those positions, pushing on, working hard, being there, being that target. So I've got a feeling from that. I think he'll start with May because he's not been getting so many starts, has he, recently. So I think he'll start with May. He might even rest Stansfield or put him on the bench.
You think?
Bring someone else in. Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised. Great player to bring on if you need him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Will he rest Willemson or will he play him in the
Harris.
10 again?
You could have Harris in.
There's
that
lots of
Fulham
options, isn't there?
Yeah.
I would imagine he'd go with Anderson because we haven't got right. He played with Anderson on the right the other night. He worked well. He worked his nuts off, didn't he? To be fair, but was stifled out a little bit by their left back. That
Yeah,
was
we
quite
spoke
a decent
about this,
player.
didn't we?
Yeah, we did. You didn't get to see that, but we did speak about it honestly. But no, he worked really hard. Was stifled a little bit. Put a lot of effort in. So I think he might go with that again. But who else is there?
We can have Harris as are you on about right midfield now?
Yes.
Yeah, ooh. You're making me think that because Emil Hansen and Scott Wright are out injured, and they're two players that you put on the flanks. So we are actually running a little bit short there. There's only really Stano, Yokoyama, and Keshi Anderson. I mean, I know Willemson can technically play on the right, but you
I don't want to see him on the right. He's too good number 10. I mean, some of the positions he got into from the number 10, like I know he should have put 2 of those headers away against Exeter, but he gets into better positions. Yeah. We look better, we look stronger, we look more focused going forward with that big lad, number 10. It's just, for me, it just gets the balance right, but that's what I want to see. I mean, we haven't even mentioned the back line, have we? We had Bielik playing sort of a right centre back, and he was very much like a right back, wasn't he?
Well, hang on, I've just realised we've done this wrong.
Have we?
Because we've gone for 3 at the back, and then we've gone for our centre mids, and we've gone
totally missed them, haven't we?
And we've missed the wing backs. So wing backs is going to be obviously Alex Cochrane. We'll touch on this now quickly.
This is it.
So that means Yokoyama. If we wanted him to come into the team, it'd have to change up a bit. And how much tracking back can he do? Has he been tested and proven?
Well, do you remember earlier on when we first started doing these, we came up with the fact that it was common knowledge that Davis didn't think that Yokoyama had the sort of defensive work in his game. And then we noticed that he was really putting that in quite earlier on. He was really tracking back, chasing back, like Stano does as well. I mean, even from his position.
Yeah, he reminds me of Stano, Yokoyama in a way.
Yeah, he's got that energy, that engine, hasn't he?
He doesn't stop moving. Yeah.
And so for me, Yokoyama does get back. He might not be as defensive-minded as your Cochrane, but they're totally different players, aren't they? Cochrane's not going to whip someone inside out and turn somebody before getting a cross in. But he'll get an intelligent cross in, an accurate cross, whereas Yokoyama will find that space, turn the man, go past him, and either fire one off, towards the goal, or put someone in, or get a cross into the back post or something. Would he be able to?
They're not players that you chop and change for each other, though.
No, absolutely not. Totally different, aren't they?
Yeah.
Good overlapping, though. So would you play him on the left side of that midfield, Yokoyama? He could play on the right side. He came on the right side, didn't he?
Yeah.
The other night against Exeter. I'd tell you what's nice, though. A lot of these players we've got, they have their best positions, like we mentioned in the last preview for Exeter, but they are adaptable as well. Like any of the wingers can go either side. I think Cochrane could even play further up the pitch if you wanted him to, although he's too useful as the left wing back. Then you've got Laird's that, will he be back in the team? There's a good chance. If he does revert back, will it be Laird again? Will he push Laird up a little bit more? Because Laird could play that right side.
I'm not too sure. What?
This is going to be a real sort of suck it and see, I suppose.
Well,
really.
This will open up the eyes for a lot of us, I think, how this game goes. We've just changed our formation. We're trying out a new system, and we've got some real fierce opposition now to see how it works. I'm really looking forward to it. I'd just like to see Yokoyama get some game time as well.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'll be happy.
I think so.
Right then, I think that we can now move on. Just before we do our predictions, was there anything else you want to say on that?
No, absolutely fine. Did you do any ref stats?
I did nothing on the referee, but I do have something for you though.
Go on, you got any factoids?
Yes, factoids. I've got two actually. One relating to Birmingham and Blackpool, and another one just about Blackpool. Which one do you want first?
Surprise me.
Okay, let's just do the one on Blackpool first, and
Go
we'll do
on.
the Blues one afterwards. So, did you know that Blackpool Football Club had the first ever Ballon d'Or winner?
No.
The first time that the Ballon d'Or was given as an award for the best football player of that year, the player was actually playing for Blackpool, and it was Stanley Matthews.
Stanley Matthews,
Yeah,
there's a name.
Claimed the award and was playing for Blackpool in 1956. There was also some players that were playing for Blackpool when we won the World Cup in 1966. And Alan Ball.
Yeah.
So that's another interesting one. I didn't write that down, but that's from memory because I've still got a bit of that left. Now onto the Blues one. This is going back to 2010. It was actually an article from the Birmingham Mail, now known as Birmingham Live. You'll probably know more about that than I would. On December 30, well, let's go through it properly. So it was titled Birmingham City, Why Blackpool Have Been a Tasty Treat Over the Years. Of course, that's obviously changed since 2010. It's not quite as profitable anymore. But it goes on to say, on December the 31st, 1994, Birmingham City thrashed Blackpool 7-1. And then similarly, on March the 2nd, 1901, they hammered the Tangerines 10-1. 2 games, almost a century apart, and 2 big wins for the Blues, and just from 2 different worlds, which is what it says here. So who knows, Dad? I've brought that into light now. Maybe we can get another result. Maybe it could be a 10-1.
Someone's due a thumping.
Wouldn't it be great
Someone's
to
due a
I'd
thumping.
love to see Blues score.
Magic of the FA Cup. Go and give Blackpool a thumping. Give the away Blues fans a really good weekend.
But what a game that would have been to see. 10-1 against a team. I don't know what football was like back
It's a
then.
shame. You just have to give that one goal away, that consolation goal.
It would.
It was crisp 10-0, 10-0.
You can't complain too much, can you? But yeah, so what do you think about that then?
Oh,
do you think that we
yeah.
can read into that for our predictions? I'm going to ask you in a minute.
No comments.
Right, we'll get on to the predictions then.
Well, did you do any play for both teams?
I didn't find any. I didn't find any players who had played
Should
for
we
both
throw
teams.
it out to the good people?
Right.
Oh, have you remembered one?
No. I had only done players who were in the Blackpool team currently. I didn't look at players throughout history that have.
I'm
played
racking
for
my
both
brains
teams.
trying to think. I can't think.
DJ Campbell.
Oh yeah, I think he might have.
DJ Campbell.
Yeah, he's retired now. He does rides on the beach. You can ride
That
it.
is off the top of my
He was
head.
a bit of a donkey, wasn't he? That's out of it. I was just looking for someone to use for that. Sorry.
I'll cut that out.
Cut it out. Yeah, DJ Campbell. I think we had him from Blackpool, didn't we? If I remember rightly.
If I've got that right, I'll be so happy with myself.
I'm
'cause-
sure you're right.
Yeah.
Should we? We'll respond to anyone where we can.
Who's
Well,
played for
obviously,
both clubs?
that puts it on. I'm not going to look. I'm purposely not going to Google it now, and let people tell us because there'll be people out there
If you
shouting
can be
at the
bothered,
screen
it's fine
saying,
if not. Don't
"No,
worry.
it's good. I love it because we've had some great comments,
No,
and
we have, we
I love
absolutely
taking
have,
part.
and we do
I'm usually at work when I'm responding to you, so bear with me."
Make sure no one from work is watching. Be careful. So let's close it out then. We'll do some predictions. Keep in mind, of course, this will be a test for us, as is any game, but Blackpool are no turnovers. They won't roll over for us, and they'll give us a good go, I think. And Bloomfield Road,
I think it'll be an entertaining game.
you reckon?
Yeah.
Go on then, give us a score and give us your scorers.
I think it's going to be 2-0.
Who's going to score?
I think you will see a couple of goals from sort of midfield again. I'd like to see Leonard start his tally.
You think?
Something different.
Okay.
Top of my head, this is. And if May scoring, it's about time he gets back on it because he deserves to get a goal now, doesn't he? Old Alfie May, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't do replays anymore, do they? Controversial topic.
Oh, it's all stopped now, isn't it?
Yeah, it goes straight to penalties. And I've just realised, Dad, we haven't actually predicted yet that Blues will lose a game. And I'm going to do it for the first time here.
You're coming out of the FA Cup to Blackpool.
I think so, yeah. I think we'll come unstuck here. Our form of late, it's no secret, it hasn't been great, hasn't been the best. And not everything's a fairy tale. Of course I'd want us to win. And I'd be overjoyed if they could prove us wrong. But
I
I
really
still,
want to see what people are going to comment in.
Yeah. Get your
on the
thoughts in. Let
score
us
for
know.
this. Yeah,
But
put
I
your
think
put your comments, put your score predictions.
from what I can tell from the last game, we're going to be playing a new system, a new formation.
You know me, just Mr. Positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we'll miss out on penalties. 1-1. Let's say Williamson will score. They'll get a goal back, and it'll be that Lee Evans from midfield who'll get it, I reckon. Or maybe even potentially that Carl Joseph. We don't usually do the opposition, but I'm getting a little bit smart-arsey with it now. And yeah, we'll lose out on penalties. Prove me wrong, Blues. All right, I think we're done.
we'll be too strong for them, but yeah, point taken.
Well, we'll have to see. So, guys, if you've enjoyed this one, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know your predictions or just thoughts in
And
general.
like and subscribe.
That is something that we're always
We
forgetting
don't say
about,
that,
actually.
do we?
We never
Enough.
say it. It does really help. And actually, just on the like and subscribing shtick, thank you so much to all of you up until this point who have subscribed or interacted in our videos in any way. We never expected it to reach this
No,
point.
It's brilliant, isn't it? We just love it. We love doing this. It's just
Well,
a nice hobby for us.
yeah.
To just,
We put no target on this at all. Me and my dad just found each other. I'm a videographer by trade. I make video content anyway. And me and you were always talking about the football, so we thought we'd combine worlds with that when we made this channel. And here we are, and it seems to be growing quite nicely. So we just
and
wanted to thank you.
I'm a model.
I think that draws the video to the close.
Why the
there.
pause?
Always end on a good joke. Thank you for watching, guys, as always, and do like and subscribe. Until then, we'll see you on Sunday. All right, okay, there's no need for that.